That's right. You know, when you hear that type music from back in the day, you know what it is. It's Throwback Thursdays. Well, want to apologize to you all for last week. I said last week was going to be my finale, and it actually was supposed to happen, but it was supposed to happen in the exclusive place for which I was blessed to be in, and didn't have internet, didn't have any access to utilizing my phone, so I had to wait until I returned, and I figured that I would do it today. But like the song said, you may not have a car at all, but remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. And so that's what today is really going to be about. My finale really is going to be about talking to you about counting your blessings and not your problems, because so many times this is one of the things that we gravitate to. We gravitate towards not recognizing the blessings that we have been bestowed upon us, and we look at all of the ailments that we have. I too am one of those people who have complained about it. But today I was actually supposed to be at a golf tournament, and the ladies and I got into a conversation about the ailments that we had. And I told them, I said, well, there's a few things I could say to that. I said, one is that they say you don't get old without having some ailments. And the other thing is that once you are having issues, that means that you're living. So if you don't have those problems, when you don't have those things, that means you're not living. Uh, so we have to realize that when we count our blessings and not our problems, we will live life on a better plateau. So one of the things is that when you look at this, the answer to that says more about who you truly are versus what you have the ability to achieve. So when we talk about, we don't share our blessings, we don't talk about our blessings, it really shows anyone who's listening to you who you truly are, and that how afraid you are to actually count your blessings, because it's easier to talk about your problems, right? Because most things, what they say, misery loves company. And so when you want to talk about misery, you want to talk about problems, the things make more people gravitate to you. So I'm just going to concentrate on a few things today, and then I'm going to end this off with something different today. I'm going to end off the show today with a different song. But they say that human nature is easier to give up than taking on the task of the outcome, of a successful outcome also, not just an outcome, the successful. It's easier to give up. How many people have signed up for something and then on the last minute said, oh gosh, I can't do it because this came up or this came up or this came up, and you don't fulfill that obligation, and you try to make all the excuses about why you are not fulfilling that obligation. Um, but when you do this, what it does is it affects the outcome of your journey. And so many times what we're doing when we're looking for our blessings, we want to share with people the home runs. And like I said a few weeks ago, um, that it's easier to get base hits in baseball, doubles or triples, than it is to get home runs. And a lot of times, all of us are looking, our blessings have to be home runs. Our blessings don't have to be that much. Mary Alice, what's going on? Mary and I grew up on the same street. I haven't seen Mary in so long. Very, very glad that you are a blessing to me today. And I'm glad you're doing well. Thank you for joining. Um, and the other thing that we look at, it's much easier for someone else to define your blessing than for you to acknowledge it yourself. Most of us don't even understand that we are living in the blessing of life. And so when we do that, we think about all the things that have happened during that journey. Well, you know what? That journey made you who you are today. If that journey didn't happen, then who would you be today? We don't know. One of the things I want to say is every blessing won't make the headlines or the 6 o'clock news. It won't happen in front of millions, and it may not even be massive. You want to know what your blessing is? Let me give you a few examples. For all of those people listening who have children, sometimes you say, these children get on my nerves, but I would just say, go ask a young lady who had 6 miscarriages in the last 4 years about, are your children a blessing? One of the other things is that I saw a story in the paper the other day about someone was complaining about the stimulus package and how am I going to be able to survive off $1,200? Well, I say just go and ask the person who, the mother and the father who are standing in the food line for the first time in their life now, and ask them how would that $1,200 help them. When you say I can't even survive off $1,200, well, there were some people who could survive off $2. You see what I mean when I'm talking about how people don't count their blessings, they want to count their problems. And I want to share the last story for which I heard today. Most people talk about 2020 being the worst year of their life. Well, um, I saw the numbers today had increased on deaths in this country for COVID. So if you are in the land of the living, just think of that being a blessing. You could have been in that number. You could have been in that number that's increasing on a daily basis. So you got to look at that as a blessing. 2020 may not be the year that you wanted it to be. Every year is not going to be what you want it to be, but every year is going to be what you make out of it and what you do and how you look at those particular progressions in your life as blessings and not all of them being problems. And the last story I want to share is about I saw there was a man and a woman who got married. And the thing was that this, everybody gets married, right? Most people get married, but it was about they had dated more than 50 years ago. And the blessing for them was that the guy, something traumatic had happened and he had to move away from the city for which they were connected. And what happened was he ended up coming back. And due to the fact that he had traveled through many cities, he went to a hospital to get a COVID test. And the lady happened to be volunteering at the hospital for which he went to get the COVID test. Never having seen her in over 50 years. And when he saw her, his love for her automatically resonated and they got married. And so when we talk about what 2020 has been for us, ask that couple what 2020 was for them. And then you'll see that we should count our blessings and not our problems. The last thing I want to end this with is that many of us are so easy with taking our problems and keeping score about them. And we want to keep score. And we want to say that the things that we do are not blessings. I just tell you to take a piece of paper, write down all of the things that you're grateful for. And I guarantee you, if you look at the small things, or you look at some of the accomplishments in your life, or you look at the blessings that your children have been, or the blessings you've been as a grandparent, or coming out of addiction, coming out of a bad relationship, coming out of no education to now receiving your doctorate degree. Those things are blessings that many of us don't even recognize, or most of us don't acknowledge. What we do is we wait for other people to recognize or to acknowledge our blessings, and then we feel it's valid. Well, the one thing that I want to share with you all is that some of you might have saw that I just came back in from a little excursion. But the funny thing was how many people tried to discourage me from leaving the country. So many people said, "Why would you leave the country during the greatest pandemic we ever had?" You know why? Because the greatest amount of numbers are in the country we're living in. So the country I went to had 60 total COVID cases. 60. And so it was just a blessing. I was able to sit on the beach every day. I was able to get into the water. I was able to meet new people. I was able to finish some books that I had been writing, and was able to just get peace of mind. And the way I look at that, that was a blessing, because a few years ago, I didn't have the resources to be able to leave my house, let alone the country. And so I look at my growth and the opportunity for me to leave the country as something that's going to continue to happen on a regular basis, because that's a blessing that I was able to do, and it's a blessing that I'll be able to do from this day forward. And so I'm going to take advantage of it. And so I just ask you, what is the one thing that you see in your life that you want to do, and bless yourself with it? And don't sit around and let the problems outweigh the blessings, and the problems get in front of the blessings. Let the blessings that the Creator has in store for you be bestowed upon you. And if it's for you, then receive it with the blessing, and don't block it with it becoming a problem. This is your man, Rory T. Edwards. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blessing for me to be able to share some of these topics with you all for these numerous weeks. And like I said, everything that has a beginning must come to an end. And so I am going to revamp and come back with some more informational activities later on. But what I'm going to do is just enjoy the opportunity that I have today to be able to share with you, just the opportunity to have a voice, just the opportunity that someone may have been touched by these, that they helped me just as much as they helped you. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you today with a quote. If you need to reach me and you don't have my contact information, I am going to leave you with a song of my favorite artists. Now, some of you all may like artists from the era I played the music in, but I was blessed to be the parent of an artist. And so I'm going to leave you today with my favorite artist's song. And if you need to contact me, just do what the song says. Write it in the sky. So that's all I want you to do. Write it in the sky. But like I always say, stay conscious, stay aware, but stay woke. This your man Rory T. Edwards. Thank you for joining me on my Throwback Thursdays, and I wish you nothing but continued blessings. And don't forget, count your blessings, not your problems. Not your problems. Be well.